seen in the last 2 years, organizations, once they realized that they could call people back to office, once the regulations and the lockdowns and the restrictions were restricted, and people were able to travel and move around in full capacity, they implemented back to work. So they were inviting people back to office just like before, 5 days a week, 9 to 5 or 9 to 6. And that's where began a new discovery that people did not want to go back to the same old normal. People were looking for the new normal, and the new normal was not standard across. It was different in different places. It was different for different people. Organizations found themselves in a fix as to which way, which policy, what should be their approach. And this was just one of the challenges. So let's explore all those challenges further with our panelists. So let me begin with Jagdish again. Jagdish, what according to you are those different multiple challenges which organizations are facing because of the workforce preference changes? Over to you.
Yeah, thank you once again, Hemant. I can talk for hours, but then
no.
But then let me limit to top 4 implications what I see from organization point of view. The first is foremost the communication and coordination challenges. See, managing a hybrid workforce can be very complex as it requires effective communication tools and strategies to ensure that all the employees stay connected and informed. And the second one is obviously the monitoring and performance evaluation. So assessing remote employees' performance can be very challenging, as traditional methods of supervision may not be as applicable in a remote setting. And then third is obviously the potential security risks. With employees working from various locations, the data security and privacy concerns can be more significant, requiring robust cybersecurity measures. And the final one is obviously the potential cultural impacts. See, hybrid work arrangements may impact company culture and team dynamics, necessitating it's necessary to proactively implementing the efforts to maintain a cohesive and engaged workforce. I am someone who would like to come to office 8 days a week. Even now I'm joining this meeting from my office, and there are 10 guys working from my office, and today we were only 2 guys, right? So everyone is working from home. And you know which side I stand. I needless to say, you all know, right? So over to you, Hemant.
Well. That's a very stark example given Jagdish. And organization culture is definitely an important conversation which is already on in the CXO circles, in the HR domain. People are constantly talking about, and this is the conversation which is not new. It has been going on for, I think, the last 2 years. I mean, 2 years that I have been exposed to these conversations with CXOs and with the HR fraternity. They have been constantly talking about how do we go back to the earlier level of interaction. They realize that work from home, work from office, hybrid is the reality of the future. So they're not fighting that. What they are struggling with is that how do we go back to the level of interaction we had pre-COVID and make it happen in this post-COVID era? When people are not face-to-face, when people meet only in online meetings which are scheduled with a purpose and an objective and an agenda, you don't have time for informal conversations and interactions there. How do we build a company culture in spite of the interaction? So that is definitely a big challenge, and there is cognizance of that challenge and people are working on it. So taking that challenge and moving to Kiran. Kiran, what are your thoughts on the challenges which organizations are facing because of the changes in the workforce preferences?
Yes, Hemant. Yeah. So in my viewpoint, there are going to be multiple challenges currently industries are facing, and those will get kind of aggravated as this work style gets evolved over a period of time, and majorly people are going to be more choosy in terms of what they wanted to do, right? They may deny the opportunity which is which asks for them to come to work, okay, on most of the days in a week. So they may wanted to get more flexibility in terms of their work location, their job profile as well. They may wanted to choose the job profile which allows them to work flexibly in hybrid style, especially the industries where people need to go in factories and work from offices, right? The like automotive industry, you may take the pharma industry, right, where people may are basically trying to shift their jobs to the office jobs which allow them to work from home, right? And there might be like the old school guys, they still wanted to go to the factories or offices and work physically there, that's fine. But you may see that challenge with the new pool or new talents or the fresh blood which is coming from the industry and from the colleges. So people will be getting more and more choosy what they wanted to do, what they where they wanted to work from. That's going to be a challenge. Another thing could be the confidentiality or the IP rights of the organizations, how they're going to get protected. People will have limited access to the talent pool or the knowledge tank in the organizations, right? Because they'll be working remotely in isolation, so they won't be able to see each other in the organizations, and that might have some impact in terms of the productivity, the innovation, as well as I mentioned, and even the product problem solving, where people may not be able to uh, as a team they will come together and do something else. That may get impacted, and that is where companies may face issues in terms of getting right talent for the people where there is mandatory to work from office or work from factories. So those are the few challenges which industry is seeing and which may get aggravated going forward.
Yes, agree. Absolutely. The talent acquisition, the talent placement, right people for the right roles is going to be a challenge, definitely. And I am looking at it, as you rightly said, from both the sides, from the employee as well as the employer. If an employee is thinking about, I want to do this particular job in this particular company at this particular level, but the company says, hey, you will have to come to the office 5 days a week. And this individual is now choosing between a preference for work from home or flexibility versus the career which he or she wanted in a particular role, in a particular organization. And difficult, easy, I don't know what the choice is going to be, but if the person chooses the personal preference of working from home over a career decision, that can signal a very different way of thinking in the future. At the same time, the employer will also struggle to find the right talent to put in the right places because of their policies. Their policies, by whatever, let's say they have decided that we will go for hybrid, 3 days you have to be in office, 2 days you can work from home. And they found the right guy and he says, oh, but I live in Singapore, your office is in India. I don't plan to relocate and I can comfortably work from Singapore. I can work from home. And what if the organization doesn't want to give that flexibility? Because the moment it gives that flexibility to its top leader, it needs to roll out the same to all the employees. So very pertinent questions on the talent front too. Over to you, Uttam, for a fresh new perspective on the challenges faced by the organizations.
Sure, Hemant. So, Hemant said that I can work from home. Let me say that you can work from anywhere, okay? And still be in Hawaii and you can work, right? So, so that's a light take on this remote work. But let me give you my perspective and let me a voice of an employee. What are the challenges as an employee we will face? Because this will also hinder company's performance, right?
Yes.
So I would say, from my perspective, I would put 3 points. Number one is work-life balance. This is not an issue in the current scenario. It was an issue before because people used to commute for longer hours. But what is happening in this area is that now there is very thin line between work and life when you are working from home, right? You need to maintain that boundary. That is a very important point, and people need to learn about it, right? The second one is also discovered. It is basically the getting engagement, right? Miscommunication, etc. And the third point I would say is that where people may struggle is maintaining that relationship between the colleague, right? Or the chai pe charcha, going for a tea break or etc. Right? That is going to affect it. So when you're not having that relationship, that overall work might get affected and gets affected, and the companies needs to find a way how to address this problem. So if I now change the version from organization perspective, I think the issues become more relevant, right? And there are 2 points I would want to bring. Number one, how to continue to make money, right? That's number one, because the business model needs to change. Because if I'm a B2B company, what is happening because of the remote work, I have seen in my company, the business sales cycle has increased because the decision making is taking longer time. So now I have to find a way how to continue to make money. Similarly, in B2C, you have to see how, because the buying behavior is changing, you have to find out a new way to entice your customers. So that is one way. The second one is also covered by Jagdish and Kiran, rightly so, is that how to get work done, right? Whether it's, when you talk about it, it's a trust and accountability issue, that it's about streamlining communication, innovation, etc. So I see that these are the few challenges that organization needs to address. And but of course, there are positive implications as well. But these parts definitely need to be addressed, and proper focus or strategy need to be established in terms of HR, culture, and also from the top management, and drive it downwards. So that's my perspective.
Absolutely. Fantastic points, Uttam. I think the work-life balance, work-life fusion, work-life integration, different terminologies, but what we see with work from home is that the boundary between work and life is completely gone. Now, you can practically be having a fantastic life balance because you are home with your family all through the day. But at the same time, while you are home and you are trying to focus, I mean, at least it happens in my house, my kids feel alienated that dad is at home, but he is not at home. He is not accessible because he is in meetings. Like right now, I have locked them up in the other room so that they don't disturb me in the middle of this session. Or they would definitely, in fact, in the last 3 years, my younger one, who has gone from age 3 to 6 in these 3 years, has made his presence felt in practically every Zoom meeting, every Teams meeting that I have been in while he was in the house. He would come in, his face would pop in here, he would say hi to everybody and then go away.